I'm live. Okay. Maybe I can do it. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, and they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Good evening. I'm Mills Lane, and this is American Culture Topics. It's a program. It's not for mental programming. What's the difference? Because we just talking, we shooting it, we putting it out there, and we want to bring the truth. So if the show doesn't grow up to like the thousands of people, then you'll understand why. Nobody really likes the truth. They rather troll. Uh, we got Ruckus Radio, Mac J in the house. Mac J gets the plug. Co-host UGS Radio, as well as Ruckus Radio, who's currently doing their 12 nights of Ruckus. And if you tune in, you might hear old Mills Lane, they call him Mumble Mills, spitting some hot fire. Anyway, salute the Blue Label in the house. I see crickets. Yeah, so salute to Jean-Paul Shelton as well. So we had a little issue today. We had a planned show, Trap Gardner and I, but Trap Gardner backed out at the last minute. So I'm doing the show, in another location. So salute to the location keepers. And yeah. So let me half and half. All right. I can't be in that chat, y'all. For a minute. I'm gonna be out the chat for a minute. But tonight we're gonna talk about trolling culture. Why? Because it's now a fabric of our society. We actually put in place in the office of the President of the United States an actual troll. So bear in mind, what I think about when I talk about trolling culture, I want to take you back to what it entails. You are, well, not you, you could be one of people who aspire to entertain. So for you to entertain, you are placing yourself into a world that's not just, you and your family. You're trying to entertain others. And what happens, it doesn't happen to your conscience, but it pushes people to think that, well, since you're in a spotlight and you put the spotlight on yourself, they feel as though they have to let you know you're not that great. You're just another person. And this trolling thing, it tends to come out where we think about trolling as somebody who's just going through all data and information out you, and that's the agenda. So when I look at trolling, I'll talk about some of the known originators of trolling, like the British Empire, for instance. The British Empire decided to invade other countries, and one of them was India, and they had a tough time getting India to come on board with the empire, because India in essence, trolled them. And you say, well, that's not the trolling that you're thinking about, are you? Yes and no. See, I'm trolling you. But when we talk about things like Jimmy Carter, for instance, as a president, from being a peanut farmer to, president of the United States, when it's time for him to go for a re-election, he wasn't re-elected because people thought he was too nice. That stuff happens. So let's see. Blue Label says he trolls lightly. And I move forward into the media world where you have folks like Howard Stern or Star and Buck Wild and even rappers. I'll use Star for this example. Where he had a show was called Universal Haters. Where he would play hate particular people, and it's the essence of the troll where you're just picking at people. Like, hey, like I was picking at my lip, and I got a mark on it. So if somebody want to troll me, they can say I got herpes. But anyway, what else is going on? And with Star, he considers himself the father of trolling. So how does he get to that conclusion? Because he understands how he decides to go into and talk about people. And it's kind of a poking. It's like, hey, you're not who you think you are. Now, it's the person who's being trolled has to understand that it's a position, but at the same time, the person that's doing the trolling has to understand the position they're playing. Because a lot of trolling that we talk about a lot comes out of negativity. See, that's the essence of this trolling culture that has turned up, where you may have first black president, Barack Obama, and you may have somebody trolling him saying he wasn't born in this country. Somebody, right? But let's see. We got Master Shock Value in here. Trolling is for children. Okay. But that's the thing. Trolling can be, or roasting, I should say, can be considered trolling. Where people actually have a roast to, say, this is a great person, hey, Joan Rivers or whatever, and they'll make jokes about her skin. And it's all out of humor. But it's in essence, it's a troll job because they're saying things that you're going to laugh at because you may feel some type of attachment to those statements. So now when we get into YouTubers, I like that word. I like that terminology, YouTubers. When we get into people who are using fame off of YouTube and the trolling that happens to them through YouTube, I bring that correlation up because they're not getting the joke where they're going to say things, and for you, MSV, Trap decided to back out. So this is one of my topics I had in the can, on your suggestion, by the way, to talk about by myself without Trap. But yeah, the YouTube world where, people are talking to like a live audience, or even they produce videos in your comment section, and you'll have people commenting. Now, these people have lots of subscribers, people that donate to their platform, and people that support them, share their stuff, their videos or whatever. But there's always a contingent of people who come behind and see that and say, wait a minute. No, I don't even like that. There's even people that come to lives just to downvote or, had a thumb down. And it's like, so you got a notification because you're subscribed, and you also get the notification that the show's on, that you decide to cut that on and then just vote it down, and then either stay or leave as a form of trolling. Yeah, Blue Label, you troll Trap. Even Kanowski, he said don't tell him, but he trolled Trap too. And Trap going to want to beat him up one day. And yeah, I'm being extra good today, right? But the internet troll, and I look at the troll as somebody who's just talking. Okay, you talking, such and such is a loser, or they show not this or whatever. And it's like, okay, that's one thing. But like I said, to troll is to dig and search, trying to find something. And this is when people are looking for people's houses or where people work at. And I'm like, well, you're going to the extreme because what? That YouTube celebrity decided to say something back in response to what you're saying. That's what made you upset, is because, or they decided not to pay you any attention, or they decided to block you because they felt as though what you were saying was rude. Like I said, I look at both sides of the coin. I look at how the star of the platform gets offended based on, they understand that that's the content that they're asking for. These are the people they're bringing to their show. Now, I can look at somebody like maybe the ADOS movement, and those folks, when they're doing they're talking, and you might have somebody come in saying something negative and it sounds racist. Like I said, that doesn't stop a troll, because if you're doing some type of movement that's pro-black or ADOS, the trolls can possibly be somebody who's white and has a problem with black unity. All right, go back in the chat for a sec. MSV say he pops in just to vote thumbs down and leave. Okay, see, you're admitting to it, and that's step one to understanding your lane in the troll world, right? All right, you got middle. Oh goodness gracious, I read that on some money, but again, what is this trolling thing? Why is it so trollism? Good word. We got to look at the psychological aspect of it for a second. We think of the clown magician. Think of that. Like when you would see, this happened a lot when I was younger, but the clown would have a flower and the other clown would come to smell the flower, and he presses a button and water squirts out of the flower. It's the psychological warfare that a troll would use to, I'm not saying bullying, but it's a psychological warfare that a troll would use to use and gain someone's trust, and then, make them feel bad that they trusted them. Like, yeah, you're going to smell this flower and water, and now you're the victim of my trolling because I was being a clown. A lot of times, this characteristic or these people hide behind names, fake names. Like, I mean, Mills. I wasn't born Mills Lane, but we talk when we've been talking about this. These people, and I am one. I never ever not say I don't troll, but the essence of my troll is a comedy thing. You know, that's how I always thought about it. Yeah, that's a good comment right there. Um, it's the piece that concerns me the most is like, what that characteristic psychologically to have, let's say, 3, 4, 5, 6 accounts. Like, I know I got 2 accounts, but that's because they had different purposes. So when I think about the psychological part, like, well, if I had 5 accounts, then I would have to, have 5 email addresses, and then you got to have all this stuff in all these different places. You got to have all multiple phones and tablets and whatnot, just to try to create some type of ruse. So what I decided to do was keep everything in the forefront. I wasn't going to ever like put my picture on my profile, but I guess I felt and listened to Star, and that's Troy Terrain for those who are not familiar, Star and Buck Wild. I decided to listen and say, well, yeah, go ahead and put your face, because I'm not going to pay attention to people who don't put their face up. And it was like, to me, it was eye-opening. It was like, yeah, well, because I'm making these statements. So I got to end up standing behind the statements. Whether I decide to tell people they're for comedy or not, I have to stand behind what I say. So it ends up being something like, yeah, who knows? One day I might be up for an election or something. And I always think about, well, how has my view on things been? And I say trendy things. Like, how has my view been on homosexuality? How has my view been on racism? My view may have changed over time, but at no point was my view ever that people needed to die. So I always felt comfortable knowing that. But when I think about that, when I talk about that psychological part, that's one of the main things that comes of it. Yes, our current president, yes, is a troll. I mentioned the whole Obama birth certificate thing. He formed a group called the Birthers. And here's how a troll with media availability can change the narrative of a whole country. He took the time to say, I don't think he was born in this country. And it sparked we probably wasted a good 2 to 3 years of the first term worried about that. So, no, this is not the only place where trolling is. I would say America is, we deal with it different because people use troll, and here's the next level of it. They use trolling to gather our attention by the term we're going to call clickbait. So on the internet, you hear about a story, or I'm watching a news site. Something happened at the schools or whatever. Okay. And I'm scrolling to the bottom, At the bottom of these websites, um, 10 great ways to stay in shape, and then they know you based on some of the things you clicked on. So if I see a picture of a woman in yoga pants and they telling me about the 10 best women in yoga pants, they got my attention. They're trying to get me to click. They're trolling my interests against me to click on some of their information. And the media uses trolling. The media overhypes the weather situation, where I might hear about the weather in a 30-minute news cycle. I might hear about the weather for 10 to 12 minutes. What leads the news? If it bleeds, it leads. I might not hear about two kids fighting and brawling, but I might hear about, a cop fighting and brawling because it's information, and they feel like more people will draw themselves to it. And yeah, we talk a lot about how the positive things that we want to see in the media, we don't see enough positive. It's because when that positive news come out, it's like, okay, I did something positive today, but I don't even feel like talking about it. So I'm not even going to talk about it. How about that? And we're going to keep it going. So the media themselves troll. Coming up next, we'll tell you why it's a good idea to eat chocolate before bed. We'll tell you right after this. That's trolling. I'm sorry. Tonight at 11, we investigate this the sofa company that sells the chairs with bed bugs already in them. I gotta wait till 11 o'clock to hear about this. So trolling is a culture. It's entirety. It's an entity, and it's an entirety. Discussion on the trolls. When I was a kid, the troll was this like little thing that didn't have a lot of clothes on. It had like this pointy hair, right? So, and also trolls, they crept around in the caves and they lurked and all of that craziness. Like I said, I've seen people on these internets, YouTubes and whatever, they can be cordial to each other and then say something that irritates the other one, and then they stop talking. And I look at it like, wait a minute, that's all it took? And I know people, we're in this 2019, about to be 2020, where people are learning how to take control of their mental health by what they allow their ears to be exposed to. But we also have to be willing to expose our ears to things we don't want to hear and persevere. Man, that's a bar right there. Anyway, back to what I'm saying. I had a post a couple of weeks ago on Instagram because it was like we haven't been doing a lot of shows Oh yeah, I was supposed to troll Trap about this. Yo, man, why this dude is so whipped though? Like we be ready to have a show, and oh man, she like what you mean she man, ain't you the dude? Dude, so whipped though. I'm trolling, and it's not out of a place of hate. It's out of a place of what's this about? It's about the show. She know about the dang show. She know. She know it's like a 1 hour show. Like I said, it's not out of a place of hate. It's out of a place of understanding. All right, but get back to the one that happened to me. So I make a comment, post on Instagram, hey, we got a show. And I get a comment that say, I forgot this was still a show. I looked at the comment like, okay, I deserve that. Why? Because my promotion has been trash about the show. We've been missing shows. It's like I had a topic that I didn't want to cover. Definitely, I wasn't going to do it by myself, but it kind of inspired me to, have a topic that you can think you can talk about by yourself. So, yeah, she don't want him doing the show Blue Label. But yeah, it kind of inspired me to figure out a topic that I could do by myself. And just keep having these on deck. Like, yeah, trolling, yes. Yes, I understand trolling. I'm a grown man. I understand that when somebody's trying to troll me. At the same time, I have to know what's worth me hopping in my car and driving to New York to see somebody in person to tell them, now, what were you saying? But or driving down south too. Yeah. It's just that's the piece of it. That's the part that Jesus. Like I said, I tell people, especially when it comes to black people, like I don't want to hit you. I don't want to contribute to you losing brain cells, you going to jail or prison, you dying, you losing your job, you losing money. I don't want no parts of making a black person's life more miserable at all. But I don't have no problem, telling you, your lip too big, especially if you're getting a big head or something, or making fun. Let's just make fun. What's wrong with making fun? Mills, you troll lightly every day. Facts. Especially like Ruckus. I go to Ruckus channel and I troll Ruckus. I say stuff about Curry, Curry jokes, Indian stuff, because he understands that's a troll job. It's not me saying death to India or something stupid like that. Like, have fun. It's not an emasculation thing. It's just you're breaking the ball, you're busting the paws, all that. It's fun. That's what friends do out in the friend world. So if you have friends, y'all make fun of each other. And some things, light things, but nobody's talking about nobody's mother. There's rules. There's the same rules apply. I think there's some YouTube personalities, that's the word, that they can't take the joke when they see it, because they like, I'm talking to you live right now, and quick flip. And they talking to you live right now, and you saying funny stuff about them or their situation, and they get mad. Say, "Oh, I'm blocking you. I'm blocking. Oh, okay, I'm gonna block you." Okay, well, That person can either create another account because they are like, oh, I got him mad, or you just don't have him no more. And yes, Clark trolls. Yeah, I troll Clark too because it's funny to me. But yeah. So in essence, Fags Blue Label. That's all it's like. It's the hip hop. We hip hop people, so that's how we talk. All right. So we did. We got into the psychological piece of it. We got into media. Um, Now there are the negative trolls. I spoke on the negative trolls, but I want to dive a little bit deeper. So, or what Clark would say, unpeel this onion. Um, but this is the type of trolling that has the concern, the agenda-based trolling, and that's not what we want. I'm being thrown off a little bit. I'll get it together in a sec. Agenda-based trolling is like when there are mass shootings and the NRA decides to talk about, yeah, we need more guns out here. So I think agenda-based trolling is one of the ones that we will hope to get rid of. It's something that doesn't need to exist. Whatever. So the connection is going down. So those agenda-based trolls are a problem. I think that to wrap this all the way up with trolling, because I'm going to cut this one a little short. But to wrap this up with trolling, I think it's just a partial. It's a piece of American culture, and it can be pleasant, it can be polite, light. It's not, it's not mean spirited, but it also can be terrible and very dark spirited. And when people are looking up people's addresses and or swatting people's houses, like all of this negative connotation, searching people's children, all of these negative things, involving spouses. There are a lot of different things that do not have to happen in that world. So that's all I got to say on trolling. This day in history. Guess what happened? President Clinton was impeached. How about that? So I think Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky began their affair in 1995, but it wasn't until 1998 that we found out. They did their independent report, Ken Starr, and the vote by the Congress to impeach Bill Clinton happened on December 19th, 1998. So, what timing, right? To focus on that, Bill Clinton had an affair with Monica Lewinsky. We all know his wife, Hillary Clinton. But when he was asked about this, he said that he did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. What we later found out after Linda Tripp trolled her Monica Lewinsky by recording her phone call. Monica Lewinsky also trolled Bill Clinton by keeping a dress that she was wearing one day when she was giving him sexual favors by way of head. So we got to see a blue dress stain, and the DNA on the dress was the DNA of the current president at that time. So what that was considered was Bill Clinton lying under oath, saying he didn't have sex with her. So he was impeached, and it was a trial and everything. But in the end, the Senate didn't have enough votes to impeach him and take him out of office for basically for lying to Congress. Then, as we learned about sex, as in sexual intercourse, versus oral sex. So, all in a nutshell, waka waka waka. This day in history, President Bill Clinton was impeached. Yeah. All right. I got no words on this current president, but he has just been voted to be impeached, and we are waiting to see what happens next. So I ain't having no more conversation on that note. Sorry for the short show, but this has been American Culture Topics. I'm your host, Mills Lane. My current co-host, Trap Gardner, who had some other things to take care of tonight. If you want to contact him, hit him up with some change, paypal.me/Trap Gardner. I'm Mills Lane. I'm out here. I definitely want to extend my gratitude to everybody who came through tonight to see the show. I ain't really promote it like that, but I'm glad y'all came in. And a salute to y'all. Till the next time, you the Cash App is Cash App $ Mills Lane ACT for American Culture Topics, with liberty and justice for all. Salute to y'all.